por el camino del desierto, el viento me despeina, suave aroma de colita, nada del aire.
Hey, welcome to Quarantine Kitchen International. This is James and Tanya. Say hi, Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
And today we are filming episode number 31. Can you believe it? We're doing 31 episodes.
No, that's gone really fast.
It has. It's almost a complete season. I think we have a season finale coming up, and then that'll be the end of season 1.
Wow.
And so we are in production on season 2, and we've got some exciting ideas. Yeah. I really was excited to make this video. First off, I really wanted to thank Alex and Monica for stepping forward and being one of our first guest quarantine chefs, right?
Yeah.
They stepped up very early and said, yeah, hey, we'll do that. Sounds like fun. This episode had a lot of meaning for me because the town where Alex and Monica are from, Ontario, California, that's also my hometown. I grew up there, and I feel like, I guess what I'm saying is when I made the video,
You felt that connection.
I did feel a connection, but for the first time in a long time, I felt a little homesick.
Yeah.
There's a few places in the world where I felt like home. Ontario will always be home. I really enjoyed making the video and weaving some of the history of Ontario into the video. So anyway, again, thank you, Alex. What we have, Alex made a few different recipes. He did kind of like a brunch recipe, he did a cocktail recipe, and he also did like a main.
Yeah.
So there's actually 3 different videos with Alex, and we're just featuring just the first one, the brunch menu item. For the sake of time, we had to pick which one.
Right.
We had to pick which one. So we'll announce his other video will probably come out in season 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, I want to introduce my good friend Alex Espinoza. He is. I can't say he's been a lifelong friend, but I've known him for 26 years, and he's always been there at almost every major event in my life, and he's been one of our supporters, and always has been one of my biggest cheerleaders. So I'm very pleased to collaborate with Alex on this video. After the cooking is over, I'm going to add probably 2 or 3 minutes at the very end of this video, about my favorite memory of Ontario. So stay to the end if you want to hear some interesting things about Ontario. So without any further ado, let me take you all the way to Ontario, California, and to our guest quarantine chef, Alex Espinoza, and his quarantine kitchen.
Great.
This is Don Alejandro, and I am collaborating with my good friend, Mr. James Udall, and we go back many years, and James and Tanya are such good friends of Monica and I, and you'll meet Monica later. She doesn't want to be on the camera right now. For obvious reasons. It's Sunday morning. So we're going to start out, first of all, this is going to be quarantine kitchens, plural, because we're going to start out here in our home, and then we're going to go to my son and my daughter-in-law and my grandsons, and so we're going to have a couple of kitchens. And so anyway, we're just going to have a great time. I love cooking. I love entertaining. I love to just be at home. This quarantine, I have very mixed feelings about it. But one thing that I'm really grateful for is that the Lord has blessed us with a beautiful home. And, we just enjoy our home. We enjoy being with family. And just the one rub has been, I'm not mentioning friends. We always have friends over. And so, unfortunately, that has suffered. We've still had friends over, but not to the extent that we love to entertain. So anyway, this morning, we're going to start out with a small brunch. and I will see you in a few minutes. Okay, so we're ready to do just a real simple brunch. And one of the things that I always do is I like to make sure we use all of the ingredients possible. So this morning I didn't go to the store or anything, so I'm just using what we have. And so we kind of have like this surprise ingredient that you have to, if you're not cooking with it, it's arugula. So we're gonna mix that in our omelet. But arugula, I use it on salads, obviously. But soups are great. Pizzas, we put it over the pizzas after they're cooked. So arugula, it's just a really excellent vegetable, and we all need our vegetables. So my wife loves green onions, and so we're going to do that. We're going to have some mushrooms and feta cheese, and then obviously the eggs. And so anyway, I just start out with some onion. I like to have my pan hot. And so we're going to saute that a little bit, and we're going to do the onion, and obviously we're going to do we're going to put some mushrooms in. And one of my words is excelente. So we have some beautiful mushrooms here, and so I'm not going to saute the arugula. I'm just going to put that in once the eggs are in there. And so anyway, again, we'll be right back. You'll see the finished omelet.
Hey, welcome to Quarantine Kitchen. This is Quarantine Kitchen Halle, Germany. And,
International, yeah.
and we are the international version. And as you heard, we have the beautiful Tanya behind us, behind the camera today. Say hi,
Hello.
Tanya. It's always a pleasure to cook in the kitchen with you, Tanya.
Thanks.
I really appreciated that Alex chose an omelet for his first dish, because I've been wanting to cook an omelet, actually. I find that they're very versatile. Mm-hmm. They can be breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner. They can be a snack after you come home from a late night of drinking. They can be filled with almost any ingredient. I mean, what you have on hand. I mean, Alex made an omelet basically out of what he had on hand, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. I didn't go to the store. I didn't buy any special ingredients for this. I know we had eggs, and I looked in the refrigerator to see what we had. So that's kind of like what the omelet we're going to make this morning. What would we call it?
Clean out the fridge.
A clean out the fridge omelet, or a what I have on hand, or an on-hand omelet.
Usually when I make a frittata, that's why. I'm just getting rid of whatever's left to make space for grocery shopping or whatever. Yeah, for
sure. So I really like the versatility of an omelet. I also like the economy of an omelet. An omelet, it can be very, very simple, and therefore extremely inexpensive.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be just egg and maybe some cheese, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you could really dress it up.
Yeah.
And
you could put filet mignon or lobster.
You could do steak and lobster omelet.
That's right.
So that's again going to its versatility, but its economy too. The ingredients that I'm going to use today, I mean, we had some eggs, which are a few. What is we buy a pack of 6 eggs here in Germany. What are they, like €3?
Well, it depends on where we go. At the bio market, they're €3 for 6 eggs. But if we go to the night market, it's like $1.90 for 10 eggs.
So,
but you're not getting farm fresh.
Right, they're not certified bio. So. Are these eggs that I'm cooking with, are these night market eggs or are they bio market eggs?
They are a combination of both.
Okay, so if you get, so really an egg is like 20 cents. So I'm going to show you the ingredients and just how economical this is. I'm going to use 4 eggs. There were 3 brown and 1 white. Is this the night market egg?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So it's 75% bio. So if these eggs are about $0.25 a piece, you've got €1, about $1.10 worth of eggs. Like Alex used some leftovers from the night before. I think he was just using what he had on hand from previous meals. We cooked last night some sweet potatoes, and I'm going to use some of the leftover sweet potato.
Okay.
We had a package of bacon on hand. We had some leftover 4-cheese blend.
Uh-huh.
So this is about a cup of 4-cheese blend. We had a tomato, and this tomato was probably had a day or two left.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would say.
it wasn't gonna. So we're using a tomato that may have gone bad. So also, if you remember from a previous video, we made some sunshine salsa. We had one left over.
And so what kind of spices are you putting in?
Yeah, so other than the ingredients, what I'm going to use is sea salt, black pepper. I'm going to use some garlic powder. I'm going to use some red chili flake, and I'm going to use a little bit of cumin. And then my secret ingredient at the end, I'm not going to cook with it, but I'm going to dust the top of the omelet with a little bit of cayenne pepper. So it's going to have a kick. The flavor components here are, I think that this omelet is going to really stimulate all of the different parts of your palate. We have the salt and the smoke from the bacon. We're going to have a little bit more smoke from the cumin. We've got the spicy from the chili pepper and the red chili flake. We've got some sweet. The sweet potato, it's not overly sweet, but it's not a candied yam.
Right. But there's some sweet.
It's going to have some sweetness to it. You're also going to get some creamy from the cheese and from the egg. And into the egg, the other ingredient I did mention is I'll put a dram of heavy cream into my egg, and I'll whip it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to fry up the bacon, and I'm going to render the bacon down to it's really, so that we have basically bacon
crispy
bits. Crispy bacon bits.
Yep.
Then I'm going to remove the bacon bits. But what I'm going to keep in the pan
is the grease from the bacon?
The bacon grease.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cook my omelet in the bacon grease. So again, we're adding another level of flavor from the bacon. So the bacon will be in the omelet, adding some crunchy texture and bacon flavor, but also the bacon fat will give it a nice flavor. This will be a complex omelet, and I really hope it turns out.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, looks good already.
So I'm going to fry up the bacon, and then we'll be back.
Okay.
So the omelets on the way, one ingredient that I usually like to put in, and I didn't this morning, is garlic. Garlic is just an amazing ingredient in all the things that I do. I usually cook with it. I just had a brain freeze, I guess. But anyway, look at the omelet. It's going in, and we're going to, at this time, we're going to put in some feta cheese. And we love feta cheese.
Okay, so we're back. I've rendered the bacon down. It's really extra crispy. This is going to be added to the end on top of the omelet, and it's just meant to give it a crunch and some flavor. Where the real flavor is the bacon fat here. So Tanya was just mentioning that the pan looks really kind of dirty or schmutzy, and okay, it maybe does, but I'm going to cook my tomatoes and my chili peppers first in here, and I really think that that will incorporate the flavor, and it'll take the schmutzy away. So I'm going to get the chili peppers going. I'm going to get the tomatoes going. Get all that nice, delicious bacon fat. Julia Child says that the stuff that's stuck to the bottom of your saute pan, these are the gifts of cooking, and you shouldn't waste them. So I've become recently an adherent to the Julia Child's school. And I don't know. I think there's a lot of wisdom in the old ways. What do you think?
Yeah.
So we don't need a lot of salt because the bacon fat is salty and the bacon we're adding is salty. So I'm just going to put not even. This is for sure a smidge of a smidge of sea
Those
salt.
peppers smell spicy.
Yep. Those are these medium hot chili peppers. I'm going to put some red chili flake. You really need to give the chili flake a minute to cook, so they can release their flavor.
Okay.
I mean, they're dry and it's...
I hear you.
I'm also, and you had cautioned me not to do too much, like Alex had said he likes to cook with garlic in his omelet.
I'm not a huge garlic fan in my eggs, so
Right.
I'm a little weird about my eggs. Eggs to me have got to have more of a natural egg flavor. I don't like a lot of garlic or onion or
Right.
strange flavors in my
get it.
eggs.
I'm not opposed to the garlic flavor. I like the garlic flavor, but I wouldn't like the texture of getting some of the garlic clove
Yeah.
in my eggs. You'd really have to mince the garlic down to a really fine, but so to avoid that, I just put in a smidge of garlic powder. That way
Right.
you don't have to deal with the pith and the
Biting into a garlic clove.
biting into a garlic clove, exactly. So we're gonna let this cook for a minute, and then what I want to talk to you about is the main ingredient here that's left over. I took about a half a sweet potato that we had roasted, and I took it out of the skin, and you can see it came out like this mushy like mashed potato consistency. When I had thought about this recipe, I was thinking that we'd have chunks of sweet potato, but kind of more like a potatoes O'Brien, where the potatoes are kind of crispy and hold up. But the way we cooked this last night, it prevented that. So what I'm going to do is, when I season, I'm about ready to whip my eggs up, but I'm going to put a dram of heavy whipping cream in my 4 eggs. I'm going to put the sweet potato in with the eggs.
Okay.
And then I was going to season the eggs with some black pepper and my cumin.
So that might make it interesting.
It would.
Yeah.
I'm curious how that's going to come out. I'm thinking that the sweet potato would give it a little extra structure.
Yeah, I think so too.
So we'll see. So we're going to put, this is heavy whipping cream. It's no joke whipping cream. It's just the rest. Oops. Oh, there was a bit of clotted cream in there. I really like it in my eggs. I think it gives a very silky texture. That's just me. It gives it some more volume too. I know some people put milk in their eggs, but if you're going to go to the trouble and put milk, I think you need to just go all the way for the heavy whipping cream. So, I'm going to give this one more. And the good thing about using the bacon fat is you don't need to use butter or anything like that. So I will put, I'm going to put like half a pinch of black pepper in my eggs. I'm going to put, I don't want to put too much cumin, so I'd say just another half a pinch of cumin. We've already got salt and everything else going in the pan. I'm going to turn the heat down. I like to cook the omelet kind of low and slow. I don't want to burn the eggs. So I've got this turned down to 6. So this would be kind of like just a medium. And in goes the egg mixture with the
Sweet potato.
Let's put this over here. And then we'll give it a minute to cook. So, what's your opinion so far, Tanya?
Oh, it looks good. It smells good.
It does smell good. The kitchen's starting to smell
So
good.
we'll be back in a few?
Yeah, we'll be back. I think this is going to take, it's so large, I think probably about 5 minutes to cook.
Okay.
So we'll be back.
So we're going to put that in. And then we're going to put in the arugula. Look at that. Doesn't that look healthy? Or as someone would say, excelente. Okay, so we'll be right back.
Okay, we're back. It's been about 4 or 5 minutes. What I wanted to do is get the omelet to where it's no longer, like all the liquid is kind of firmed up. It's it's kind of come together. So before I flip it, I'm gonna take my bacon. There was about 5 or 6 really crispy pieces of bacon here. So I'm gonna crunch it all up. Put bacon bits everywhere. Spread the goodness. Spread that delicious bacon goodness. Is there anything better than bacon, Tanya?
I'm not like a huge bacon fan like you, but I do like bacon every now and again. I definitely could not eat it every day like you could.
I love to cook. Well, I love to cook with bacon. That's my my thing. So I got the bacon down. So that's to add some texture and some more flavor. And then I've got about a cup of 4 cheese, shredded, prepackaged shredded cheese. I would use cheddar. Whatever you had on hand. Even we're gonna let the cheese melt. We're still on low and slow. I'm gonna turn it down even more because the omelet's cooked. I'm gonna turn it down to like a 4. So now we're on the lower end of medium. And I just want to give that cheese a moment or two to melt. And then I'm going to try to flip it, to fold it. The biggest challenge for me in cooking an omelet is keeping it an omelet, because I think if you fold it and it breaks up, you basically have a scramble.
Right.
Right. So the difference of whether
Which doesn't change the flavor at all. It just changes the shape.
The presentation, right? So in just a moment, this is either going to be...
It's make or break time, baby.
Right. This is either going to be an omelet or this is going to be a scramble.
Yeah.
I can't really tell you my...
Drum roll.
All right. So I'm putting my goggles on, and I like to do it with 2 hands. So I've got a spatula, and I would try to flip it with your widest spatula. We have another one that's quite narrow, but I think for this you want the most surface area. And even so, I think it's going to...
Look at that. It's coming together. I think it's good.
Then with one motion.
There you go.
Oh, let's break a little bit. Give it some stitches.
There you go.
So,
beautiful.
We have an omelet. I'm going to take the heat off.
Yeah.
Altogether, and I'm just going to let it remain here for about another minute so that the cheese can fully melt. I really want that cheese.
It looks pretty melted.
Yeah, so we're just going to let it sit on the residual heat. The next thing is I'm going to plate it.
Okay.
For us, this was a pretty big omelet because it's meant for 2 of us.
I think it probably would feed 4 people.
It could. It could for sure.
I mean, it's going to be way too much for half and half.
I'm going to plate this. I'm going to plate this for 2.
All right.
I'm going to cut it in half in the pan, and then I'm going to serve it on each one, and then we'll take a couple pictures of it plated. But I don't know what you would call this omelet. So this is a what's on hand.
Or clean out your fridge omelet.
Clean out your fridge omelet. Yeah. I really appreciate the opportunity to show you how to cook something that's simple, economical, but yet versatile and very flavorful.
You could totally have this for dinner, lunch, doesn't matter. Yeah.
The humble omelet, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so that's...
And they eat eggs in France all the time at any time of the day or night. You can get an omelet anywhere at any time.
So if we're using France as the barometer for high cuisine, I mean, it was invented in France, I believe.
Right.
So
Heard you eat with your eyes, right? So obviously you're going to eat with your eyes here, but also one of the things I believe in is ambiance is so important, and so we have this outdoor garden area, and so in our home we have about 5 different areas, kind of each has its own mood, helps us set our own mood. And so this is one of them. We love to be out in our backyard. We have a big backyard. Love to be outside and planting with lots of flowers and vegetables, and so we love growing things. And so anyway, this is how we're going to eat. And anyway, we just send the ingredients to you. We'll see you in a while in my other kitchen, my son's kitchen. And so see you later.
I'm really kind of proud of how that turned out. So I guess the proof will be in the pudding, as they say. We'll have to we'll taste it, and we'll tell everybody how it was in a few minutes.
Yeah.
So all right, we'll be back. So if you've made it this far to the end of the video, please stay another moment or two. I just, as I mentioned before, Ontario is my hometown, and in the course of these coming videos with Alex, I just wanted to share maybe in each one a favorite memory of Ontario. My absolute favorite memory of growing up in Ontario was related to the Sunkist orange packing plant.
I remember that.
You remember that plant?
Yeah.
It was on the corner of Campus Avenue and I think Mission Boulevard.
Yeah, Mission.
And they would take the incoming oranges from the orange groves that were still many orange groves around that area, but that whole area was orange groves. So they would take, they would receive all the oranges and they would turn the oranges into orange juice concentrate. So the cans that you would buy at the grocery store with the, you know. And on certain days of the year.
Did you ever freeze those and just eat them like ice cream?
Yeah, you know, that was kind of a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, very sweet.
I
wouldn't be able to do it now, but.
That might be one of the reasons I'm diabetic today. I mean, just the sugar content alone. Right. I'm sure I was flying high. It explains a lot about my hyperactivity when I was a kid, too. Right. But yeah, so, but on certain days, it wasn't every day, it wasn't every week even, but every once in a while when the atmospheric situation was correct, the Sunkist plant would emanate the most delicious smell.
I remember that smell
of oranges. And it was probably the orange oil, the orange zest, and everything in part of the processing. And as I mentioned, the Sunkist plant was on Campus Avenue in Mission. Well, my grandparents' house was on Campus Avenue, about maybe 2 miles up the street, near Campus and 6th Street.
So you got the smell often.
And I spent a lot of time at my grandmother's house.
smell.
And for me, I associate that smell with my grandmother's house, that it was just there a lot of the time. And especially I remember summer afternoons, swimming in my grandmother's swimming pool, and that orange smell just all over her backyard. And I guess, I mean, it's some form of industrial pollution, but you know, but the point of it, it was so such a luscious and delicious smell.
Yeah.
And so
I remember traveling somewhere in that direction and always smelling that and just loving the way that smells.
And you didn't live as close to the
No.
plant as my grandmother did, so the fact that it could get all the way to Chino.
Yeah, I don't think I smelled it in Chino, but like if we were up in that area or we were driving up Mission for some reason or something like that, I remember smelling that and thinking that's like a delicious smell. And my mom telling me, that's where they make orange juice. So
Yeah, that's where the orange juice comes
Yeah.
from. So I will forever associate Ontario with those memories I have from my grandmother's house and the orange processing plant. I hadn't thought about that in years and years until I was putting this video together. And it turns out that in 2007 they closed that plant. And then in 2008 they demolished the plant. They've put some type of one of those modern industrial parks that are there to have different warehouses and different small industrial. But what they did keep is they kept the iconic Sunkist water tower. So the water tower you could see from quite a distance, and you knew that that's where the plant was. So they've kept that as kind of a historical memorial to the plant. But if you do any research at all into the history of Ontario, it really is tied in with orange growing. And in fact, the land,
and not just Chino, Ontario, but also Riverside and
Redlands,
Orange,
all over.
Orange groves all over.
Yeah, it was a very agricultural area. There was different forms of citrus, and there was grapes and all of these things. But even the land that my grandfather built his house on in 1947, 1948, the story I had heard that came down to me through our family is that the land was orange grove, and so he had some orange grower had sold the land. It had been subdivided, and then he bought his lots. So anyway, I just thought I would share that. I have some other memories of Ontario that I'll share in part 2 of this Ontario Halle. But I will always find Ontario, in my memory anyway, was a fantastic place to grow up. So I don't know if that's just normal for how people feel about where they grew up, but there's a lot of things like that orange packing plant and the smell. I don't want to even call it a smell, because a smell maybe indicates something unpleasant. The aroma, the aroma of the orange packing plant is definitely something I will never forget. So with that, thank you for watching our video. Please, if you like the content, please, number 1, give it a thumbs up. Number 2, share it. There's a share button. It copies the link. You can share it to your Facebook. You can share it to your email. You can share it to Messenger or anything like that. And then most importantly, to make this channel successful, we need subscribers. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Please, if you like the content, when you forward the video link to your friends and family, please ask them to subscribe. We really cannot grow the channel in any other way, and we've been getting subscribers, and we want to just continue with that. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for putting up with my long-winded story about Ontario. Again, Alex, thank you very much for participating.
Thank you, Alex, Monica.
And we look forward to the next time that we can all get together and share friendship and some camaraderie and
yes, for sure,
and some good times. So with that, farewell from the quarantine kitchen, and we'll see you on the part 2 of the Ontario Halle episode.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have I told you that you look really handsome in that hat?
No, but thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.